TVPN.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to Black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Ascension.
Coming from where I'm from, every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from, still fooling. We done lost a lot where I'm from. Still watching for them niggas trying to plot where I'm from. Cause everybody trying to make it out where I'm from.
Look, where I'm from, you gotta decide your own outcome. When niggas keep the peace like King and still move like Malcolm. Get it by any means as long as income is the outcome. Hit that stop button when they mouth run. Damn, straight bullets through the skies that powder babies just like talcum. Heartbroken mothers pray to God and ask him how come. You kill one of mine, you gon' get outdone. Say yourself cause Batman ain't gon' save you here in Gotham. Where everybody grew up with a hoop dream. That ain't work, so now that brother out here trying to move peas. Shoebox stash and try and stack it up for that new V. Scat packs, Hellcats, SIT, that new Jeep. Ballin' like a school team. I get gone off one of them cones, stay in my zone, no 2-3. R.I.P. to all my dogs, this Hennessy hit concrete. Free my boys behind them walls until they see us all free. Till our day come, we gon' keep on ball link, chillin'.
Coming from where I'm from, every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from, we done lost a lot where I'm from. Watching for them niggas trying to plot where I'm from. Cause everybody trying to make it out where I'm from. I'm from the city of Faux now, folks in mode now. Blocks they strolling while the cops patrolling. Or they in the trap trying to whip that baking soda. Kids gotta eat, gotta make payola. Try to survive in the windy city of Shy, where even if you got a job, you finesse on the side. Cause they steady raising taxes and the rent's getting high. It's getting hard to get by, you feel that pressure apply. Got some weight on your shoulders and some stress in your chest. Eyes bloodshot red cause you ain't getting no rest. I feel your pain, but you can climb out them depths. I know it's hard stacking bread, paying off them debts. But stay focused and maintain and keep going. And watch the ones that you keep the closest. Never leave your circle open, cause a lot of niggas out here serpents. Snakes in the grass lurking for certain. Every season's hot where I'm from. Seems like everybody got a op where I'm from. Niggas barely make it to the top where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from, we done lost a lot where I'm from. Watching for them niggas trying to plot where I'm from. Cause everybody trying to make it out where I'm from. what the fuck be making niggas think they can fuck with me. Stay with a small circle to ensure I stay sucker free. Peace to the niggas rockin', those that truly got love for me. To the women that be lusting me, they dreaming of fucking me. Lick your fingertips and rub your clit to this, and let my voice bring you the climax. My raps is more real than any 3D or IMAX. Listen and digest this fly shit like Venus flytraps. Side-eyed niggas that speak on my city is Chirac. Niggas love glorifying stupid shit, the useless shit in front of cameras, goofy capping, act as if you used to shit. With Max producing shit, how could I fall short? I hit the booth and get the kicking shit of all sorts. Listen, I'm just a product of the inner city. I remember plenty nights, there wasn't any lights and with no dinner in me. I was in tune with the harsh realities of life at an early age. Was used to struggle at an early stage. That made me appreciate the small shit. So now I kick that off the wall shit that leave these rapping niggas all sick. They say jealousy and envy get you nowhere, so I'd rather not go there. These niggas panic when I touch mics, I'm Rudy Gobert. I ain't the type to talk jazzy while hiding behind the screen, naming Abby. You pushing buttons or trying to get at me, huh? I'm John Wick with the shit. I'm killing everything while bitches sleeping on me. I'm setting fire to bed frames, replacing alarm clocks with time bombs to bomb spots. This onslaught's for certain. These other niggas is long shots. Dousing your mattress in gasoline. It's asinine to try to find a rapper that rap is mean. I haven't seen a rap nigga that worried me yet. So far ahead of my time, I got fans that ain't heard of me yet. I'm not the nigga you should step to, disrespectful. If I address you, won't be no rescue. They gon' have to dress you in a black suit and some dress shoes. Unless you suicidal or glutton for punishment, I'll never choose the rival.
Yeah. Mama, chocolate. Chances make champions. On the solid, I'm a problem, you can't disregard me. Got some bottles and exotic, with your bitch we slotted. I be with goblins, keep some Glocks, we ain't boxing or arguing. No pocket watching, only focus on what's in your wallet. Foot on they necks, I'm a stepper, I apply that pressure. The mob be with me through whatever, we grew up aggressive. Better keep your bitch on the leash, or I bet I catch her. She give me brain like professors, that hoe extra clever. All she get is dick and refreshments, don't ask extra questions. We in the party with some weapons, keep yourself together. We hot, dog, Christian on the show, we came with relish. Make it rain on the dancers, fucked around and changed the weather. Me and my brother know how to maneuver, been in it too long, bitch, we know what we doing. Get off them drugs and turn in the bull. Whole gang off the yang, we rollin', we groovin'. Lord in here tweaking on all kind of bullshit, he clutching the 40, he know how to use it. Them hoes just people that slid in between us, they happy to meet us, you know they be choosing. Yeah, we get to the money usually, the fuck are you doing? All that playing tough just to get stumped, the fuck are you proving? Call my homie Quan, shorty low, he pulled up in some foolish. He say them drugs been doing the U-Haul, constantly moving. Saucy, big drip on me like a faucet. I'm awesome, hot as coffee, slick talker. I can't keep these hoes above me. Hit the bank, make a deposit, names look salty, must feel awful. Hit the bank, make a withdrawal, walk out, pockets bulky. No, the ops don't want no problems, they maneuver real cautious. We keep them pistols in unreach, get you folded like laundry off them drugs. I'm a zombie, fuck a bitch till she exhausted. Whole section full of bosses, y'all just whatchamacallit it. Long Lil Tito and Go Curry, them boys with some bosses. We calculate our every move, can't afford no more losses. My people vultures, mob time, bitch you better not cross us. Have Lord and Bell, I start tossing, turn y'all out to fossils. This shit getting colossal, need that money pronto. These lions hungry in the jungle, bring beef to your front door. I'm smoking maple leaves, this weed here came from Toronto. Cute, thick as fuck and know how to shut up, bitch the perfect combo. We been flexing, acting retarded, cutting up in them parties. Soon as we enter, they know we them niggas, y'all whatchamacallits. Stay with some shooters, James Harden, they clutch it in Target. Same hoe you in love with, gain them boulders, she fucking for 40. Can't over rock with no whore, I won't settle for less. Can't get a bitch no Pandora or no Panda Express. And meetings with them lords, trying to expand and invest. Goddamn, they upset, they really can't stand that I'm honest. Saucy, big drip on me like a faucet. I'm awesome, hot as coffee, slick talker. I can't keep these hoes up on me. Hit the bank, make a deposit. Names look salty, must feel awful. Hit the bank, make a withdrawal, walk out. Pockets bulky, no, the ops don't want no problems. They maneuver real cautious. We keep them pistols in unreach, get you folded like laundry off them drugs. I'm a zombie, fuck a bitch till she exhausted. Whole section full of bosses, y'all just whatchamacallit.
WIIFTBP you and me.
That's why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what the cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
Great afternoon to you wonderful people. Welcome inside the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios on a Monday. This is I Said What I Said alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. Each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, we get together right here with you and we discuss issues that are currently impacting the black community. Why do I have on sunglasses? Nobody's going to tell me that. Jesus Christ. The screen popped up and I'm like, what am I doing? Anyhow, appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., we get together right here and we discuss issues that are currently impacting the black community. We talk about how those issues are impacting us as individuals, but also how they impact us as a collective. And along with your help, we talk through many of these issues in hopes of finding the optimum solutions for how we can overcome said issues. Again, overcome them as individuals, but for the sake of this conversation, more importantly, overcome them as a collective. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of this conversation. As always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to do so. We will read through as many of your comments as possible while we go through the show. We would kindly request you please take a quick second to share the broadcast, share it on your personal page, share it even within your personal network with absolutely anyone that you think would add value to or find value in this particular conversation. We welcome them to be a part of the discussion because we think that the more like-minded individuals that we can get to be a part of the discussion, the better the opportunities we have of reaching those aforementioned solutions. So please, if you would be so kind, take a quick second to share the broadcast. Again, this is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb. His name is Two. What's happening, good brother?
What's up, family? I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you?
I'm good, man. But you and T got these braids on beam today, okay? You and T got the crispiest braids in the nation right now.
Yeah, you know I had to get my half a point, like you say.
T, we got to get your half a point back. It's imperative that you don't dip down too low below 9.5. Get your hair back together. Boom, solid 10.
Solid 10.
You feel me?
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? You look good, my brother. It's crispy, man. The lining is on point. The taper is on beam. Yeah, man, and the braids is tight, man.
It's summertime. You know
you slept in a bonnet, didn't you?
No, I just got them done just a minute ago.
Oh, tonight I'm sleeping in the bonnet.
Later on that happened.
T was in here looking all West Coast crip, and T was like he could crip walk a little bit in this month. He had his whole Mac 10 thing going on. He had his 4 little joints right here, super crispy. Y'all hella light skin today.
With his Minnesota jersey.
Yeah, they had Tomlin twins on it.
That's what it did.
Yeah,
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, it say Tomlin right here, so Tomlin twins. You know he got a twin.
I know.
Yeah,
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, that was because DJ was like, yo. You here talking all this pro White Sox shit in here with this Twins jersey, yo. So Terrence like, nah, you missed the detail.
Tomlin.
You missed the detail. I'm repping my family. Fuck these niggas.
It ain't about baseball.
I'm like, oh, okay.
We just stealing people's logos out here.
Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But nah, man, I'm feeling good. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in the city of Chicago. Hope y'all are well out there, wherever you should find yourself in the world. We appreciate y'all so very, very much for tuning in, man. We got some things to get into, and we're looking forward to it. Reese the Ruler is in the production studio. Reese, what's happening, my brother?
Blessed and highly, well, I'm blessed by the best. You already know the rest. He already took it, so I'll take that one. I'm blessed by the best. You already know the rest.
Heard you, man. Heard you. You feeling good?
Yeah. I made it. It was my son's graduation yesterday, so
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Definitely
Got a
salute
little
Lil
tipsy
Reese.
yesterday, but I made it here at 5:45.
Boy, niggas found a reason to drink. Boy, it's my son graduated preschool. We had to pop bottles.
My son lost his first tooth. He just,
Right. Hey, we got to pop bottles. We gonna have our reason.
My son party train. He's got to drink for drink for whatever reason you can.
On the way out at the end on the soil. Gino was shouting out, I said what I said, and we was in the production studio with you, and he like, Herb in here already fucking drinking a beer and shit. I'm like, well, it's 80 degrees outside.
You can't say you've been drinking all day if you don't start in the morning.
That's a fact. What are we doing? Plus, I'm old now, man. Night drinking is not my thing no more. Day drinking is my thing.
You're old now?
Hell yeah, I'm old now.
Since when?
Probably like 2-3 years. I've been feeling old. Yeah. About 2-3 years, I've been feeling a little old, and so I used to be able to like go all night, and I still can go all night. In fact, I do still do that, but the effects are different now. I used to be able to go all night, pop up 5, 6 in the morning, right back to it, or go handle some business. Now, if I'm up all that time, then I'm just gonna sleep, and I'm gonna sleep from like 7 till like noon. Then we can figure something else out.
Yeah, you might have overshot your watch, shorty.
Yeah.
You got a few more years before you be feeling like that.
Nah, fam, I started too soon, G.
I started early too, but I guess what's that? The second win? You
Yeah.
get your second win.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I think I'm gonna stumble upon it. But right now, I think my ideal drinking time is from like 1 to like 7. If I can drink from like 1 to 7, then stop drinking. Grab me some food, kick back, watch some TV, go to sleep. I'm good for the next day.
I wasn't necessarily talking about your second win for drinking. I just think you got a second win for energy.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm just one and the same. Either give me a coffee or give me a shot, and I'll be okay.
Man, I went to bed at 3
and
woke up at 3:30 and woke up at 5, and I ain't stopped yet.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
I ain't saying it's healthy, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's how it be sometimes, man.
It's
That's
necessary.
Yeah, it's necessary. You do what you do, and you keep it rolling, man. I don't necessarily subscribe to the fact that we absolutely need 8 hours of sleep every day. It's a third of your life. How I'm gonna sleep for a third of my life? It's shit to do out here, right? Even if, and I don't mean that on some, how motherfuckers act like
Nicole
not
Harris
sleep.
talking about, wow, I came in at the wrong time. Would you come in? What's the wrong time? I don't understand that.
Yeah, what is the wrong time?
Yeah. Tony.
You know how like, we got folks that think that not sleeping is gonna automatically make you rich or something. I'm not saying it like that.
That's a slave mentality.
Yeah, and then that, not sleeping. But I do think that a third of your life is a lot to sleep. I just think it's 24 hours a day. I'm gonna sleep 8 of those. I don't know when the last time I got 8 hours of sleep. That don't even seem feasible to me at this point in my life. It really don't.
But me neither. But
plus, I don't really like
necessary.
sleep, to be
But
honest with
sleep
you.
is necessary, though.
100%.
Right? And I know we don't never hear this, but that is a slave mentality when you kind of put that, if you ain't working.
Gotta work all day.
Yeah. Rich people don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah,
But
hell no.
That's for workers. That's an employee.
It's a worker bee
mentality.
mentality.
Right. We run around here talking about, that's a boss
Kings and queens.
mentality. That's about how that confusion works.
That's worker bee mentality.
It is.
The boss is working 2 hours a day.
If he doing that.
Your ass is working.
Right.
Okay?
Your ass is working on that.
Now,
Not the motherfucker who getting it. He
I
ain't
feel
working
that,
on that.
but I wasn't even talking about the working because the boss might not be working, but his ass ain't sleep 8 hours either. He on his fucking yacht or
He's relaxing.
he's cool, but he's up though. I don't even like sleep, to be honest with you. I don't find it very appealing. I feel like I'm gonna miss something, or like it's just
That's because you're still young.
if I were to make a list of things to do, sleep would not be on the list. Or if it would, it'd be way down. Like there's so much other shit I would rather do than sleep.
Yeah, it sound good to your ass be needing sleep.
Oh, listen,
I take naps. I'm
a napper too.
You grow in reverse as you get older, right?
Yeah.
You go back to child shit, right?
Right.
So I take naps all the time. Like, God, thank you for letting nobody be in this house so I can close my eyes.
Yeah, no, I'm a napper too. I take 45 minutes here. I take 90 minutes here. I take a couple hours there. I kind of do that throughout the night anyway. Like last night, I would never really say I was asleep. I was kind of like in and out and had the TV on, and I wake up, watch a little bit, fall back asleep. That's kind of how I sleep. I'm just saying I don't find sleep all that appealing is what I'm saying. If I'm exhausted, don't get me wrong. If I'm exhausted, I enjoy it as much as anybody else, right? You go, and eventually you crash. And it's like, I crashed, when was it? Last weekend? I think last Sunday. Yeah, last Sunday. I crashed. I had been going for like 72 hours straight, like literally, and then I just crashed at an inopportune time, no less. But you know, your body gonna be like, "Hey, fam, that'll be all for us."
Yeah, that's how I go, man, and that's just because it's a necessity of the kind of life I live.
Yeah,
right. But it's really like I go until my body be like, all right,
we gotta get
out.
right. Yeah. But that works for me. Like, I don't really see anything wrong with that.
No, it don't work for me. It's I'm doing too much. I'm working too hard. Like, and it's a problem.
Okay.
I mean? So I'm trying to get to a space and place where I can manage that in a much more healthy way. You know?
I feel you.
But that's not cool.
Philosophically, I'm saying
Find yourself
it works for me.
ran into a damn guardrail or some shit.
Yeah, no, that's trash.
You know
right?
what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, that's not the way to be.
But I'm just saying, eventually, your body will be like, okay, we've had enough. You can go as long. Your body will be like, that'll be all, fam.
Yeah, and God
Shut
willing,
down.
you in a space where you can lay it down.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Right.
you're in trouble.
Otherwise, you're in trouble, right? Yeah, I'm not. If you know you on that last 10%, you shouldn't be out here driving.
But I was
and
on
shit.
some young hot boy shit, man. I done found myself several times waking up at the stop sign.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like, wait,
Richard Pryor got a joke about why he stopped drinking, and he was like, "Man, I stopped drinking because I got tired of waking up in my car driving 90."
That's crazy.
like, I guess that's not really a joke, but
It's not. Because I've been there. That ain't cool shit.
Okay, bro. I-50. I think I might get an I-57 tattoo. I've spent so much of my life on I-57. It's freaking ridiculous.
Don't do it.
Between Carbondale and between going to school in Carbondale and then living in Champaign, I spent so much of my time on I-57, and a good portion of it has been dozing off.
Yeah, don't do it.
I told y'all about a car accident once before that I was in. My homeboy, I've knock on wood, I've never been behind the wheel of a car accident, but my homeboy was driving, and that shit got ugly. But I've told y'all that before. We don't need to go down that road. It was terrible. Either way, man, get your rest where you need to. You know what I'm saying? Don't be what you say. You call it burning at both ends.
Yeah, burning the candle with both ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, super stupid.
It is. It is what it is, man. But yeah, y'all. Yeah, the hair. Who's your barber?
Man, I've been trying out new barbers all the last 3 weeks. Jim.
Yeah.
So I met some random dude in the 111th named Dante.
That's kind of crispy.
It's all right.
On the lining piece,
It's okay.
the taper ain't blended perfectly, but
Yeah,
I like the lining.
It's okay.
It's crispy.
You get comfortable with your barber, man.
It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. I found out. What was they? What were we talking about? Like estheticians? No, we were talking about nail techs. Woman was like, "Yo, no, I feel the same way about like who does my nails. Like y'all feel about who cuts y'all hair. Apparently, women feel the same way about who does their nails.
I wouldn't know nothing about it, man. You know, I've never done that in my life.
You ain't never got a manicure or a pedicure? You should do it, bro.
No, I'm cool.
No, just the fuck. Why not?
Because I'm cool.
I hear you. I'm asking you why. Like if I told you I don't want to eat this, I could tell you why. It's fucking nasty or something.
It's don't appeal to me at all. My sister tried to get that for me for a birthday one time. And my sister knows my personality. So she was like, I'm not telling you where we're going. Just get in the car.
Right.
So we driving around and shit.
You pull up.
I'm irritated already. Like, man, I got shit to do, man. What is this? You know what I mean? And we get out. And I said, baby, I'm not going in there. You know. She was like, come on, you're a jerk. I said, I'm not going in there. So waste your time. I don't
Bet money you would like it.
I'm cool.
I bet you would like it, G.
I'm cool.
Manicures, pedicures too. Feel amazing, G.
Manicure, pedicure.
You pick a color.
I'm cool.
You should try it before you die, G.
I'm cool.
I'm dead ass. Like,
I'm fine.
you want to go?
I'm just not interested in.
Why not? Your hands feel good. It
Why
look
I gotta
good.
be interested in?
I didn't say you have to be into
pedicures and manicures.
I said it feels good and it looks good.
I'm cool. That's not the kind of man I am.
What kind of man is that?
The kind that gets pedicures and manicures. It's not what I'm on. It's just not my thing. What's wrong with that?
What about massages?
I get massages
You get a massage?
every now and again. Yeah. What?
You should give it a shot. You should
I'm
give,
fine.
You should
man.
give the pedicure.
Why are we
manicure.
focused on my hands? Yeah, I'm good.
What? Because I'm.
I like looking like I just came from working on something. How about that?
Why?
Because there's value in that.
No, it's not.
It is value in that.
That's that slave shit again.
Nah,
You
no
talking about with the slave
shit. That's some
mentality?
man
That's
shit.
that slave shit.
Yeah, that's the man.
I like
shit.
looking like I just been scratching bricks all day. Why? That's for what? What reason do I want to look like that?
Kim still said two got shoes under his shoes.
Right? What are we doing, bro? I'm saying it like this though, for real. You talk about like you riding your bike and going to hoop and all that shit. Your feet will literally fucking feel better if you get a manicure. I mean a pedicure.
Keisha here talking about some sad. Let me tell you something, jerks. Just because I don't like people playing in my fingers and toes don't make nothing wrong with me.
Nobody's playing. They're like massage your fingers.
I'm not interested. I don't like people touching my feet for no reason.
I understand that, G.
And I'm not interested.
You soak them in the warm water. They rub them down with the
seen
shit
it before.
They give you the hot towel wraps on your feet. All this shit feels amazing, dog.
I'm good.
I'm not saying you got to get polished.
I'm fine. I'm not interested.
Although some dudes do get polished. Some dudes get the clear
I've
polish.
seen it. Some dudes get color.
Yeah,
it's not
Reese,
my thing.
Reese back there raising his hand. He probably got black fingernail polish on right now.
Reese from the West Side, man. They wear matching gators with every suit they have. It's the different culture.
Reese, you do the polish and shit?
I do the clear polish. I do the no chip, and I want to sit under the UV light. If I'm gonna go get it done,
He has it all the way down pat. He has it down to a science.
Yeah, but I don't know. But you know, that's that man masculinity. I understand. Like, you know, why you in there cutting your, you know what I'm saying, wife up every night with them dogs like that, man? You could just go
I didn't say I didn't clip my toenails. I just said I'll go
but it's
get
a difference
pedicures
when
and
you're-
manicures.
It's a different situation than when the professional does it.
Nah,
and
man.
your feet feel
I'm
good.
just not a sexy nigga, man. I'm not on the metrosexual.
Okay, so let's let go of the aesthetics of it, right? I'm talking about like it feels good. Your feet literally feel better. You
And
walk around in more comfort.
I like my feet feeling like my feet. How about that?
They are
That's
your
it.
feet. They're
That's
still
it.
your
That's
feet.
it. That's
man.
it. That's all.
They're just fresher and more comfortable. It's T-Tough Keys in there. Why are we passing notes? Just come in here and look.
I ain't see no keys in here. Come here, look.
I don't see him. On the hook? Hey, T, come see if the keys are
bro.
here. What are we doing, man?
He ain't one just busting y'all show like that, you know? What I'm
Man, we
saying?
don't give a
that
shit. We
that was
busting
way more
show.
distracting than him just walking past. T, you get manicures or pedicures?
I'm planning to get some like next week for sure.
Hey, take
Bless your hearts, man.
take two with you.
Definitely.
No, two
When
don't
you
wanna
see-
go.
When you see my toes,
This is why we've
you
made
like,
no
get the
racial
pedicure.
progress. I want y'all to know that.
But that's what it is. But as a man, like,
I
why not though? Like, why won't you get your feet done?
Yeah,
Because I'm not interested in getting my feet done.
But like, why
Can't
you
convince
say,
this
like,
fool.
masculinity? Like, what's wrong with it?
Y'all just made that shit up.
Okay, I'm asking you, but like,
you be like, damn, feels so good.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I want to be there for. I want to go with you. I want to be in the next chair over, just so I can sit you like.
if your wife took you, would you go?
No.
But why not? It could be some quality
Because
bonding.
I'm not interested in going.
Okay, but like, what's not interesting in getting them?
The whole environment, the whole experience is not interesting to me.
I know, but like, explain it to me though. Like, what's not? Like,
I don't like baseball either. I don't go to baseball games either. Can we have that conversation?
Yeah,
What
we can
what
have
does
that,
it
but
matter?
about this-
Yeah, but you can tell me why you don't like
tell me
baseball,
why
can't you?
don't
Because I'm
like
not interested.
Oh, but it's a reason that something like I don't like baseball because I'm not interested in watching.
The game is too
9
slow.
innings, you know what I'm saying?
I just told y'all I like people touching my feet. Now we done went a whole nother way. I don't want the goddamn manicure or pedicure. It's not my thing.
There's not a single thing on this planet that makes this dude happy or comforted.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. I could name way more than a single thing. You understand me? Absolutely it is.
Ridiculous, too.
I'm just not interested in pedicures and manicures.
Remember we was talking about going to the range and shooting? If I win, we go get pedicures.
I still ain't doing that. We can bet money. You know what I mean?
Like we'll use the money to go get pedicures.
You can use the money you want to do whatever you want if you win. I'm not planning on losing one, but I'm definitely that's not interesting to me.
All right, man. I tried.
This is why we make no racial progress.
Why is that?
That's it. We had a whole conversation. Let's get into Kwame Brown. Let's do that.
Wait, what's the racial
I'm
thing?
gonna get into it while we get into Kwame Brown.
Okay, so if you don't know, Kwame Brown is a former NBA basketball player. Not only is he a former NBA basketball player, he is quite possibly, no, not number one. He's top 5 NBA bust of all time. Top 10, maybe. I'm giving him a little bit of credit just because his career did actually last a long time. He didn't come close to realizing his potential or the expectations that were placed upon him as the number 1 pick. Michael Jordan drafted him as the number 1 pick for the Washington Wizards. I don't remember what year it was. I would say probably around 2002, something like that. Kwame Brown was drafted number 1, and Yeah, his career never went that way. I wouldn't say he was number one. I would say like Michael Oliver Candy was probably like the biggest bust of all time. He went number one to the Clippers one year. But anyway, Kwame Brown, because he was such a big bust, he's always been like this running joke about how he never realized his potential. And so, in NBA circles, NBA conversations, that comes up quite a bit when you're having this bust conversation. His name comes up quite a bit. Two other former NBA players, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, have a very popular podcast. What is it called, too?
All the Smoke.
All the Smoke. They got a very popular podcast called All the Smoke. And I guess they mentioned Kwame Brown in a less than flattering light. They was joking about him being a bust and this, that, and the third. And Kwame Brown took it personal. What's up, Reese? I thought you were going to say something. They took it. He took it personal. And so he came out with a video responding, going off about them and all this, that, and the third. Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes have since responded, and this thing kind of keeps going. I think that they both kind of right. I watched both of their responses and back and forth. I think they both kind of right. Kwame Brown is like, yo, you niggas ain't got nothing else better to do than try to tear down another black man. I had I played in the league for a decade, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't get to, play in the NBA for a decade, right? Get off my dick, pretty much, right? And they like, bro, you being sensitive as hell, right? And Matt Barnes specifically is like, I didn't even say shit. I didn't even do nothing about it. Steven Jackson was making all the jokes. Matt Barnes just laughed a little bit, and then Kwame Brown took it personal. I know you about to go with that, so I'll leave that piece to you. But I will say this. All I know is that growing up, when you signifying and you joking and you flaming motherfuckers, if somebody flames somebody else, right? If you ain't in that, you could stay out of it, or you could laugh hysterically. Once you start to laugh, it's very, very likely that person gonna go, oh, you think that's funny? Now I'm on you. That's just kind of how it goes. And so Matt Barnes probably didn't say the initial thing about Kwame Brown. Steven Jackson said that. But if Matt Barnes bent over laughing and slapping his knee, oh, that's funny to you? Boy, now I'm on your ass. Now that's just kind of how it goes. And so, we'll see. But I think you have another reason why you think the backlash is stronger on Matt Barnes than it is for Steven Jackson.
Hey, okay. That wasn't the perspective I was going to take, though. I want to dig deep into the whole controversy, I guess you could say.
Sure.
And I think there's a lot going on here. It's a lot happening here that's telling about, one, in my opinion, what we think of masculinity. It also, too, speaks to the negative energy, like how our community, circulates negative energy so fast, and we feed into these kind of narratives so fast. And I'm not necessarily anti it, because I think there's some lessons here, too. First of all, and I think that it also shows a lot of people's hands on how certain people angle for opportunity in the midst of picking sides, even in something as simple as this. But it didn't just happen over one incident. Mm-hmm. So what happened was they were interviewing Jeannie Buss from the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about a trade. I don't know what the trade was, but the trade that essentially bought Kwame to L.A. when he was in L.A. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Steven Jackson made a joke about that. And they was like, they traded for two players, and Steven Jackson was like, no, you didn't trade for two players, you traded for one, right? So let's say that happened 2 weeks ago, right? And then the very next show that they aired was a show with Gilbert Arenas. Uh-huh. And Gilbert played with Kwame in Washington.
Yeah.
Right? So they go in on that Kwame conversation again. It's like 2 weeks in a row they didn't talk about this man in a laughing kind of.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Making him a spectacle. It's not even a joke. But this is what I'm gonna say though. I think Steven, and I'm a fan of All the Smoke. Be clear, I'm a fan of Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. I like in the NBA.
That's dudes.
They was hoopers. You know what I mean? But I think what happens is, one, Steven Jackson is ignorant. Mm-hmm. I think he shows up to the show high most of the time. Mm-hmm. I think Matt Barnes.
I mean, that's the point of the show too, though. That's why it's called All the Smoke.
Sort of, kind of.
I mean, it's a part of it, right? It's talk, it's spoke, but they also are big weed smokers, both of them.
Reefer, right? But Matt Barnes leads all the conversations. He leads all of the intellectual thought in the conversation. Mm-hmm. And Steven Jackson is kind of there for comedy relief at some level.
Yeah, he's the entertainment.
But sometimes he's just there. Like, he don't even got much to say. Mm-hmm. Like, I watched him when they was talking to Jeremy Lin. He might as well not even fucking been there. You know what I mean? Because he didn't have very much to say at all. But either way, they talking to Gilbert Arenas, and they bring up Kwame again. Mm-hmm. And everybody, it's a quick joke, and everybody's laughing, ha ha he. And then Gilbert Arenas pulls back on that shit and was like, no, he ain't what y'all think he is, though. He was like, he was just in a very bad situation. He was like, think about this, though, man. This motherfucker damn near 7 feet, 270 pounds. He the second fastest person on the team. Next to Gilbert Arenas.
The freakish athlete.
Who Gilbert Arenas is like.
GA is one of the best guards of his generation.
Period. Hands down, right? So he was like, you know, he kind of got put in a situation and undermined by Michael Jordan, right? And because he's fucking Michael Jordan, you can't really come out and say, hey, Michael Jordan fucked me. Because then your career will be over for real. You know what I mean? So he was kind of just caught up in the conundrum of fuck shit, and his confidence was ruined. That's Gilbert Arenas' conversation. Whole time, though, Steven Jackson is ha-ha, kiki, ha-ha, which for me looks like some real whole shit, and it's really just some real whole shit because he ain't got nothing else to talk about. He ain't studied or he ain't researched Gilbert Arenas enough to have a real conversation worthwhile. So let me sit here and, you know, minimize.
It's low-hanging fruit.
It's low-hanging fruit, right? So, okay, since that's the way you rocking, and it's 2 weeks in a row, when Kwame comes back and says, hey, you bitch-ass nigga, come see me. Right? I fuck with all that energy.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
I've been dealing with this shit for 2 decades now, fam.
But it ain't even a 2 decades.
I'm done hooping. Y'all still talking
about,
y'all still speaking my name, fam.
I'm dealing with this shit for the last 2 weeks for no. I ain't even in the NBA. You don't hear from me.
I'm done hooping, fam.
Right? And then Skip Bayless and Shannon talked about it.
He actually is on one of them crazy love and hip hop and all that. So,
Kwame Brown is?
Yes, and that's
I ain't know that.
I think he go with I forgot that girl name, but I'm sure somebody, one of the girls, the comments in the but that's what he been doing now. He's on one of them crazy loving. So I don't watch it because it's all fucking foolery.
Yeah, I know that.
So
Kwame Brown.
Yeah, I know that.
I watch just to hear him talk. He talk funny.
But check game though. That's what was funny to me. Like I was watching Shannon and Steven, and Steve Bayless was like, Skip Bayless, I'm sorry. And Skip Bayless was like, you know what was the trip about this? He was like, before this incident, I don't think I've ever heard Kwame Brown's voice. And when he said that, I was like, shit.
Me neither, because you would remember.
I ain't never heard him speak either.
You would remember.
You know what I mean? So for
this nigga never had a major press conference after the game and nothing.
20-something years, this man ain't never said nothing to nobody about nothing publicly, and he has been getting drugged for 20-something plus years.
He has.
Right? And the other thing about this is he knows all them dudes personally with the exception of Matt Barnes. So when he comes to the conversation and says, hey, man, I fuck you up, he probably know he'll fuck you up. And if you watch Steven Jackson's his first response was like, hey, man, you know, we just joking. I don't want to go.
He knows he'll fuck him up.
He tried to be tough, but also saying, I stop, dog.
Yeah, you're going to try to save face, but still be like.
Tough. Nah, nigga, you bought this shit on yourself.
Yeah, it's when niggas be at school, man. Ain't nobody got time for this shit, boy. Ain't nobody even on that with you, boy. And why you walking that way?
Yeah, you bought that shit on yourself. Walk away, fam. So if you that tough, if you gonna keep doing shit like that, then you got to deal with the consequences. That's just some man shit.
Right.
Now I'm gonna say this too. When it first started happening, and I was hearing conversations from just the guys in my circle, and you know, like they was like, man, Kwame is clout chasing. He looking for some reason to be relevant, this, that, and the third. I'm not gonna lie to you. That made me look at them men a certain kind of way. And I think
which ones?
The men who was in my circle who was saying that kind of shit.
He just clout chasing.
He just clout chasing because that seems like a real feminine ass response to me.
Okay.
From someone publicly disrespecting you, you know, in the manner in which it happened. You know what I mean? And I think we write so much shit off in our culture today, in society today, as
clout chasing.
Just colloquialisms. Like, you know, this shit don't really mean nothing. I.e., nothing never has no fucking value. You know what I mean? And if you respond to some shit in a certain kind of manner, it's always some other, or I hate saying this out loud because I try not to talk about this boy, but Jamal Green was on the show this morning, on Major Show this morning, and he was talking about something, and he said something, my brand, and that shit triggers the fuck out of me when human beings say my brand.
Yeah, you've never liked that.
You're not a fucking brand, you're a human fucking being, right? But because we're so mixed up into this kind of capitalist transactional ideology, everything we do, we think we're fucking brand. You're not a brand. You're Jamal. That's not a brand. Goofy McDonald's is. It's a difference. I hate that shit. But it's also where we are as a people. And I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about American people. We running around this motherfucker as if we're industry.
Sure.
We're not industry.
Sure.
You're not.
Sure.
Right? So there's no emotions attached to industry. There's no lifespan. Well, let me not say no lifespan. But there's no emotional wavering in industry. Right? There's a color called Target Red. That's a brand. It's gonna be the same every time. A human being isn't. It's impossible. Right? So how we respond to shit is gonna be human. Right? We're taking away our humanity to fit into this goddamn capitalist narrative.
Right. Your brand says you shouldn't respond that way.
Or my brand says I should. Or my
person says fuck that.
Right.
Okay.
Be a fucking
Don't disrespect
human.
me.
But we don't have any value in humanity. We got value in capital. So we think like we're corporations, and you're not a corporation.
And that's why people say that he's clout chasing, right? Because it's like, okay, his career's over. What exactly is he doing? Rich just told us that he's fucking chasing bread on whatever the fuck.
Basketball Wives.
Yeah, that's.
And he go with the girl OG. That's what I'm finna say. Like, and that's the reason why I saw it. I'm like, that's how I know. I'm like, is that Kwame Brown?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is he doing on here? But he's on Basketball Wives, LA, and he go with a girl named OG.
Yeah, so once you in that kind of realm,
that's sucker shit too.
Then that's what I'm saying. But once you put yourself in that realm, that does kind of say clout chasing. That does trying to say I'm trying to stay relevant either through reality TV or now through this fucking YouTube beef shit with the On the Smoke podcast because they got like a top 10 podcast, and it's like there's that lends some credence to people's argument that he's clout chasing.
Well, like I said, there's nuance to the argument, right? So I had and I would never know about nothing reality television.
Right.
I wouldn't know, right? But again, I started this conversation by saying there's nuance because
Love Candy.
Now that he's doing this shit every day, it looks suspect, right? It looks goofy now to me. Now, off the rip, you said what you said. I'm responding to this shit. We can handle it like this.
Right.
We can get on some gangster shit.
But now we're going back and forth.
We can get on some gangster shit.
You can't say,
but now when
stop popping off for a fight me, and then you keep going back and forth with the popping
now
off.
Every day it's like an opportunity. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. And it's kind of like, it's the effects of capitalism. And it's kind of pushes us away from the very narrative, in my opinion, again, of masculinity. You know what I mean? Ain't no man gonna keep talking to no man.
No, we ain't.
Q has a saying. I know Q is listening. Shout out to my brother Q. He has a saying. He says,
worldwide Q now.
Yeah,
okay, international Q.
Yeah, Q says when words stop working, fists gotta suffice.
When words stop working, fists gotta suffice.
And I believe in that, right? So if you're operating in that energy, right? But i.e., words have already stopped working. Ain't no back and forth for a month of words for no man.
We tried.
I know of.
No, we tried.
Here's where you stand. Here's where I stand. How do we move?
You moving off your point? No, I ain't moving off my point either. So either keep my name out your mouth and go on about your business.
Or some furniture got to move.
That's it.
It just is what it is. You know what I mean? But when you keep going back in that OG or the dating shit, now it looks goofy to me.
Yeah,
it's a lot of nuance in this whole
thing. The more it kind of evolves and these layers get peeled back, it starts to look real fugazi and fucking, social media-ish. You know what I'm saying? And that we just in that fucking age now. And it's one thing for social media shit to happen on 64th and 63rd, right? Y'all niggas finna cross paths and y'all don't have shit and y'all go there. You niggas ain't finna, nobody's finna get hurt behind this shit. Kwame Brown and Steven Jackson aren't about to fight.
I think it's the same mentality, though. I think it's the same mentality between Kwame Brown and Steven Jackson as it is on 63rd Street.
Right, but what I'm saying is that may actually turn into some shit on 63rd. This ain't gonna turn into some shit on the Smoke podcast or fucking Basketball Wives. Like it's not finna turn. You know what I'm saying?
So the shout out to Nicole. She says there's not Kwame Brown on that OG on that Housewives thing. She said it's Kwame Alexander, whoever that is.
That's Kwame Brown on that.
I have no idea. So.
I don't know either. I don't watch none of that shit. I don't watch none of that shit, so I don't know.
But, I don't have no clue.
But shout out to Nicole for trying to doing the research. I appreciate that.
Yeah, always.
But all of the nuance though, right? So not only did that happen, you also had this other conversation emerging out of Kwame Brown shit, where him and Gilbert Arenas had a private phone conversation. They say him and Stack Jack had a private phone conversation. And then now it's just a consistency of dealing with Matt Barnes. And he's responding to
I'm rolling with Nicole Reed. She said she watches the show. He said, no, sir, I watch it.
He's responding to Matt Barnes as Becky with the good hair.
Right.
And maybe this shit is triggering to me because I'm a light-skinned nigga.
Yeah, y'all got to fight a lot.
But that's this assumption that you soft or you sweet because you light-skinned.
Right. You walk up on both of them, and even though they both 6'7" plus, world-class athletes formerly or whatever, you walk up on Steven Jackson, you walk up on Matt Barnes, the racial, social constructs will tell you that fucking Matt Barnes isn't as tough as Steven Jackson. Is that bullshit? 100% bullshit. But that is how people carry it. See, your screen is frozen. I'm about to fix it in a second. But that is how people kind of just carry it for no reason at all.
But to the point I'm making, so Matt Barnes finally responds after really not being engaged in none of this conversation. He was the only motherfucker on the show who didn't engage in disrespecting Kwame Brown. Right? People was like, he laughed. And even in his laugh, it was like, it wasn't like, I'm in this. It's just, all right, I heard the joke. Let me keep it pushing. You know what I mean? But Kwame continues to go in on Matt Barnes saying, Becky with the good hair, all that, you a hoe, inviting him to his dick, all kind of wild shit.
Right.
And Matt Barnes finally responds and he said, hey, man, I would love to have you on the show. Right? And if, we can't work out whatever the issue is in the conversation on the show, I would gladly offer you 15 minutes after that. Other than that, I ain't really got too much to say about this shit.
That's it. And I respect that more than anything.
I fuck with that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, fam, you got a problem, whatever.
Let's try to work it out.
You mad about something I did?
And if we can't work it out,
I really think it was a
can you whoop my ass though?
Right, but if you, come on the show, we can chop it up. That ain't good enough for you. I'll give you 15 minutes after the show. Now, that's also a thing that a nigga that's actually had fights would never say. That's a long-ass fucking time to be fighting.
That is a long time.
Okay? I've never seen a 15-minute fight. Not that wasn't on TV.
I have, though.
A 15-minute fight? Yeah. Never seen it.
I've seen it.
I've seen a melee. I've been in a melee at Miami Bowl that lasted for, I don't know because I was in it. It seemed like it lasted for fucking 3 hours, right? But I would bet you that even that probably was like 6 minutes. 15 minutes is a long time to fight a motherfucker. It just really, really is. You're not a fucking boxer. You're not fighting for 15 minutes.
Native Negro Lights on YouTube said that Becky with the good hair got 2 triggers. It does. It does, because I've seen this shit play out for the last 45 years. And it usually ends in somebody getting their ass whooped by Becky with the good hair.
Facts.
And it's interesting to me because what motherfuckers don't really understand, and this is one thing about our community, man, I think it's so funny. And in a lot of ways, man, men got to stand up and be men. But if I'm being very honest, man, there's a lot of cowardice in our community. And what you see is a lot of posturing and a lot of shit talking and a lot of stuff that women would do. And I don't know if that's a repercussion of, being abandoned by fathers or, being raised predominantly by women. I don't know what that is. I can't speak to it, but I know it's just not how I respond. And in most instances, because these kind of things do take place in our community where we have these assumptions and these stereotypes based on mythical ideas, people challenge light-skinned black men. Because in the ethos of the conversation, there's some kind of ideology that there's weakness attached to that. And that blows my mind. Because when you look at the history of black people in America, and this ain't light better than dark and none of that shit, but specifically in regards to black power politics or black social movements, the vast majority of them niggas was light-skinned, and there's a reason why. There's a reason for that. And that reason is because you kind of got to walk that pathway of not fully being ingratiated in that community either way, right? And sometimes the response to that is overcompensating probably, right? So that overcompensation shows up in many ways. It shows up in being extra black. It shows up in whooping your ass worse than you would have got your ass whooped by the dark-skinned brother. It shows up in a plethora of ways. So when Matt Barnes says that, responds the way he responds, I fully believe Matt Barnes, not to say he'll whoop Kwame Brown, because Kwame Brown's a monstrosity of a man.
He is huge.
But I'm sure he'll give him a go for his money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, half the battle of any fight is the willingness to engage. And so if you are willing to engage, you halfway up on most people, period. Most motherfuckers don't want to fight. And so just the fact that, due to, racial bullshit and motherfuckers just want to pick fights with the light-skinned people because you think they can whoop their ass, they've had fights already. 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. Whereas a nigga that say like Kwame Brown size, who I would venture to bet he's always been the biggest motherfucker he was around, Nobody's running up on you like that, G. But Matt Barnes probably had to square up way more than Kwame had to square up. And I don't know where both of them from, to be honest with you. But, you know, all things being equal, I would bet that Matt Barnes has had more confrontations than Kwame Brown. And their careers went that way in the league, too.
Either way, I just think that the way, even if you're going to attack them, attacking them from the colorism standpoint is some whole shit. Specifically when you come into the conversation talking about, look what your white daddy got you doing. Because that's another quote that Kwame regularly he's been using in his lives. You responding to your white daddy, you just doing what your white daddy tell you to do. But then you use the same kind of philosophy, engaging him by diminishing his value by the same kind of racist conditioning. You know what I mean? That shit is just some goofball shit. But that is what it is. But also, another portion of this conversation is Jason Whitlock went on and had an interview the other day. And it was an hour-long conversation about this specific incident. And Jason Whitlock was calling him Becky with the good hair. And he was on there talking about how he praises Stack Jack. This shit was interesting to me. He was praising Stack because he was like, you know, I've had conversations privately with Stack, but that Matt Barnes, he's a thug. He's a criminal. And I was thinking about that shit, and I'm saying to myself, motherfucker, Stack Jack ran into the stands in Detroit and stole on fans. But it's Matt Barnes who's the one who perpetrates the criminal energy. But then you dig a little bit deeper. When Kobe died, Matt Barnes went at Jason Whitlock for the disrespectful stuff he said about Kobe. So now it's like everybody's leveraging their opportunity in the moment to push themselves forward in the capitalist paradigm. And really with all this shit starts
Jason
to look
Whitlock
like...
is a goofball, though.
He is a goofball, but all this shit starts to look like to me, even Kwame, even Stack Jack.
Right.
And really, from my perspective, the only one who ain't super engaging is Matt.
Yeah.
When I look at the rest of now that I look at this shit throughout the nuanced lens, all you niggas look like bitches.
Yeah. That's what's happening right here. This back and forth, this bitch then shook the table type shit. That's what it reminds me of. Like, it's just a bunch of oversized grown-ass men going back and forth about another grown-ass man. This is fucking dumb, right? And I joke as much or more than any fucking body I know, right? But it's just a joke. And if you take it way too personal, I'd be like, hey, I ain't mean like that. But I'm not finna go back and forth with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't necessarily finna be like, oh, I'm super, super sorry about it because I think you're being sensitive at the end of the day. But I'm not finna go back and forth. You offended? Cool. I ain't mean to offend you. We'll keep it pushing, right? I'm not finna do this back and forth shit with you. And that's pretty much what Matt Barnes was saying. If you offended, you're welcome to come here and just chop it up about it. If that doesn't suffice,
what my ass then?
What my ass then, fam? Like what I'm not finna do is send shots back and forth across the fucking internet. This shit is dumb. Okay? These are grown-ass men. This shit is fucking dumb. But I absolutely think that it has those type of racial implications that we see play out all of the time, right? It's the Jay-Z. You know, once he got money, now the wavy, light-skinned girls is loving me now. You know what I'm saying? It's like somehow they better than chocolate girls. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But that is how he grew up. I want a red bone with long hair. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if that's what you want, you know what I'm saying? But that plays out on the opposite end for dudes. For women, she gets an extra 2 points just off GP. 2 points look better than her just because she's the lighter one. And for dudes, you get Doc 2 points of toughness for that shit, right? He's just a little softer than dude because he's lighter than him. It's like, all right, fam, he's gonna beat your ass though. You know what I'm saying? And then that just kind of plays out like that, man. I've seen it my whole life. I've always been, you know, darker, but I've seen it go both ways. You know what I'm saying? Because
She Raw on YouTube said there's a Mitch mandemic.
There is. Bunch of Mitches out here.
It is a bunch of Mitches.
Bunch of Mitches out here, man. They do real Mitch shit. They do real Mitch shit. We got to take a break. When we come back from break, we'll have more conversation on the other side. This is I Said What I Said on a Monday. Herb 2 till 3. We'll be right back.
WIFTVPN. Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to Black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
Welcome to Inhale Exhale, you guys. We're your health home girls, Dr. Tanks Lee and Danny Time. We are being joined today by a guest, Samantha Allen, who's going to work with us today about attachment styles.
Preoccupied, anxious, that's more so a child that comes from a background where the parent or the caregiver was kind of all over the place. You didn't know what you were going to get, so you were clinging to them when you did have their attention, because sometimes I might have it, other times I might not. Because that, it creates an anxiousness in the child, whereas when I get your attention, I want to hold on to it. I want to make sure, so I might cry when you leave, or I always want you around. I'm craving your attention. You know, mother-father relationship, the father passed away, now the mother is over busy, she's working all the time, she doesn't have as much attention as she once had for the children, so now this created an anxious attachment style. Those adults grow up more, considered more clingy in relationships, always wanting attention or feeling like I need to make sure we're okay, fear abandonment, fear that we might be breaking up or you might be leaving me alone, so I might check in with you more often, I might call you more. I just need to be assured that everything is okay with our relationship. That anxiousness part is the anxiety of the relationship, of always thinking something, something might be going wrong. If I called you, you don't answer. Are you upset with me? What did I do? Let's figure this out. Let's work this out. You're always kind of on edge about where your relationship will go.
You get a piece of paper, write down the event, the thought, emotion, and then logic. So in this case, say that your boyfriend didn't text you back. Okay, that's the event.
Like that chronic, I need something stronger. Molly cute, that's like an aspirin for my daughter. Big time, in the club with a case of Ace, and I sniff that whole table. Scarface, another court case. I'm a frequent offender. Where Wyclef was hot, I was gone to November. 6 years, hard time. Bobby was fucking up, Whitney could have been mine. We would have been so high and so in love. When Amy Winehouse died, I could have saved her. I could have smoked like half of that. She wouldn't have had to go in cardiac arrest. Hands up under her dress. Lindsay Lohan her mess, but I still cope above her breast. I must confess, I heard from a little birdie. Bring some crystal meth, you can get that from Fergie. Had a real nice dream, me and Charlie Sheen. Few Playboy bras, I was high in Rock Ford. Brick after brick, like Shaq at the free throw. I stay hard, I put coke in my pee hole. You bout that life? I'm bout that life. You ain't really bout that life. If you really bout that life, 50, get with me. Let me test your word. T.I., I'm trying to get high. Let me test your word. Birdman, I hear you, man. Let me test your word. Brick Squad, I like it hard. Let me test your word. I want that shit that made Britney shave her head. I want that shit made DMX say he a fed. I want that shit that had Amanda Bonds tweaking. I want that shit Lance Armstrong compete with. I'm a winner by any means. You dig me? Praise Angelina Jolie, but when it condemn me, keep trying to play me like I'm a loser. Biggest sales first week, Robert Downey Jr. I remember even Oprah got high. You thought I forgot?
Welcome back, family. We are live from inside the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. This is I Said What I Said. Intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. We are keenly aware that you could literally be doing anything else in the world. The fact that you are hanging out here with us and contributing to this conversation means a whole lot to us. We do not take it for granted. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's watching on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching on the I Said What I Said page on Facebook too. I see y'all, and we climbing
all
up there.
over the place, man.
We climbing up there. We're having a good time.
I like it. We climbing.
It is definitely a good time. So I appreciate y'all, man. I hope y'all are doing well. Shout out to the homie Reese the Ruler. He is holding it down in the production studio, doing what he does, and we appreciate it, man. It's a family affair. Shout out to Terrence Tomlin, who had to stay here for a whole hour because he lost his keys. So he thought.
In my pocket.
They were in Toussaint's pocket.
Then I realized I lost my keys.
We all helping T find his keys over the break because y'all saw him come in the studio like twice trying to find his keys. So we get up on the break and we're looking for his keys, and all four of us walking around here looking for his keys. Two start looking for his keys, and he come back like, I found them. You know, somebody say something the way it sounds suspicious.
Hey, look what I found.
You found them where, too?
Easily.
In my pocket. Okay. Like everybody else didn't look everywhere else, and you just found them. Okay. Then he couldn't find his own keys. Everybody. It's a sleepover at Wifted Media Studios today. Nobody's leaving.
Yeah, man. I want to go through some of these comments because we still talking Kwame. And again, it's a lot of conversations taking place in this one incident.
Yeah, no, I mean, the basis is about Kwame, Matt, and Steve, but the implications are much.
For me, the underlying shit is one. As men, what have we come to in America?
Exactly, that part.
Right? And these should be like warrior class men, right? They're athletes, they're young, at least in context.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It also brings in the conversation of colorism.
Yeah.
It also brings in other conversations because of how many other people have chimed in and how they've chimed in to save Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. It also talks about, even to the brand conversation we spoke about, how we see ourselves as brands rather than humans, and we make decisions like a brand would make a decision. Because it even, and here's how it goes into.
Plays out all the time.
But here's how it plays out into the manicure, pedicure conversation. I could say, hey, this
Here
ain't.
we go, Reese.
No, I'm real though.
I know.
I could say, hey, this ain't for me, and I can draw a boundary, and that just be it, and that's okay. Right? But when a brand is up against the wall, it can't draw them boundaries. It's going to shift toward whatever the need is or whatever the value asset is of the people. Right? Who can I jump behind that I can ride this wave to wherever I'm going? Right? My son, I had this conversation with my son and some of his ball player friends that was taking him home a couple of days ago. And they was talking about some dude who's on YouTube who at least proclaims to be a homosexual. Or at least let me not say proclaims, but he acts like a homosexual. And he gets a lot of rappers into his interviews. Them, unbeknownst to them, they don't know he's a homosexual. And then he does these real homosexual activities and behaviors to make the rappers uncomfortable. Now, we just having, I don't know who these people are. I don't know none, even the rappers. I don't know none of these people, right? And my son and his friends was like, yeah, but dude ain't really gay. He just act that way for money.
Yeah.
So I asked the question. I said, y'all think that's cool? Because does the ends justify the means? Right? Is getting money behind that behavior good enough?
He'd take dick for money too.
Is any right? Where does the where?
You know what I'm saying? If that's what we're doing.
Where are your bounds? Where are your standards?
If we acting gay for the bread, then when are we drawing the line? You're not a fucking Hollywood superstar. You're not Omar in The Wire acting gay. You are. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's a conversation that we need to have. Because
or maybe you are Omar in The Wire.
But
I don't
that's
know.
a conversation.
Where do we draw the line? I don't know.
Whether this be the specific guy who's doing this thing on YouTube, or even going back to the basketball wives of reality TV in general. How far are you willing to go for a check? Right? How far, even the Kwame thing, and I said it's a nuanced conversation. I hear people thinking I came in here shitting on Kwame. When I said it's nuanced, right? When he first came out saying the shit he said, I was with it. I supported it 100%. Now that this shit has become a goddamn segment on his YouTube page, it's not the same anymore.
You talking about how much your YouTube page is growing, and now you want to do this every day, and it's like
it loses its value to me.
All right, this wasn't about disrespect.
Or maybe it
started as disrespect,
but when you start
you
to
see it as an opportunity.
The opportunity in it, it's like, well, I can also leverage this for capital, and the ends become justified.
Right now, disrespect is tolerable.
It's tolerable.
Because I want to go back and forth.
Because I want to go back and forth because I can get 90,000 new followers on YouTube, and I can capitalize off this shit.
It also that in and of itself also speaks to the frequency that people tuned into, though.
True too, which is another part of the nuanced conversation. How attached we are to negativity. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's a very low vibration. It's a very low frequency that we attach to. Right? Yeah. We can all have this Kwame conversation today, right? But who could tell you what's going on in Chicago government today? who could tell you what's going on at your kid's school today? And I'm not, and I don't want to, I'm not implying that our audience is that level or operating at that frequency. The fact that we having this conversation speaks to us being engaged in that frequency.
Right. Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's so much other shit going on in the world. It's fucking in Cuba. They killing motherfuckers over taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, was it in Colombia?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We all know what's going on in Israel with the Pakistanis and the Israelis. But again, how many of us in our community specifically can talk to any of those things that's happening in the news cycle and the implications of those things and why they're happening? Not very many of us.
Yeah, but I think that it's like you said, it's reflective of the overall culture at large, right? I was shopping yesterday, right? And I was just trying to pick up a couple things for some summer clothes and shit. And I could not find shorts that were not skinny, slim fit. Like every single pair of shorts, they all were like skinny jeans, slim fit, skinny jeans, slim fit. I literally asked the lady in the store, I said, ma'am, are there shorts in here that are not, like, look at me. I'm not a skinny person. Like, I'm not, like, y'all don't make shorts for, like, regular fucking people no more or big people. Like, and I'm like, where? No, she's like, no, we got some. She had to walk me back to, like, the corner tuck of the fucking store, like, to find some jeans that didn't say slim fit, skinny jeans. It's like, oh, okay, because, some of us have, like, thighs and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this shit? And so, it's just kind of how it is, man. I've been telling you, I had been, hopping on Twitter. Twitter has this Twitter Spaces thing, and it's their version of Clubhouse. And so I've been hopping on that. And my sister-in-law, Risha, she's like heavy into that shit. She got a YouTube channel that's, relatively successful, and she's doing a lot with this Twitter Spaces thing in terms of pioneering that space for them or whatever. And, so I started doing a lot of stuff with her, and we were doing a lot of, like, cool shit, right? But in the midst of doing all this public shit, I'm still just me. You know what I'm saying? And so when I'm having a regular conversation with these people in here, I say something that the room don't like, and it turns into this thing. And then somebody tells me, you shouldn't say such things like this because of your sister-in-law's brand, right? And I was like, wait, what are you saying to me? I'm responsible for her brand about what I say? You motherfuckers is crazy as shit, okay? First of all, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want at all times. Second of all, it has nothing to do with her or her brand. Like, it's fucking stupid. We share a last name. She married my brother. We have the same last name. She's my sister in real life. I've known her since I was 12. I love her dearly. But what I say ain't representative of shit that got nothing to do with her. It's fucking stupid. But that's everybody, this brand shit. Oh, watch what you say because of the brand. Watch what you say because of the brand. I'm a fucking person, okay? And Herb feels this way about this particular topic, and Herb is going to tell you that whenever the fuck he feels like it. And brand be damned, okay? You keep your check and every other check you ever seen. Fuck you. It's just kind of how I feel about it. I don't know.
It's not going to work like that, man. It's not going to, it's kind of like, look at LeVar Ball. Every time he says something, it kind of, went on his kids. It's just how you, like have to present yourself.
I'm not, though.
Certain situations. So sometimes it is messed up, but, like somebody may see her hanging with you now. Like my friend I'm chilling with, he ended up like graduating out of college, like real hood dude, but now he's like the head of State Farm. So I just posted on his page, you know what I'm saying? Like, what up, my nigga? Deletes it. Sends me a private message, said, hey, you can't write that on my wall no more. Because it'll mess, you know what I'm saying? And then now, before he takes a picture,
I just gotta unfollow you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a certain thing that he don't do because, he got to keep
that's capitulating.
The image of him up.
It's capitulating.
How you feel about that?
I think it's some whole shit. I ain't gonna lie to you,
And I don't mean no disrespect to your mans or disrespect to my. I don't like whatever. It's capitulating. It's what it is.
It's just like he said when you go to like an interview and you all preppy and you all talking white. That's what he's saying.
It's capitulating. Like that is absolute finest. This is my homie. Been my homie for life. He said to me, "What up, my nigga?" 1,000,000 times. Now it's like that's an issue. Fuck you, okay? And I mean, fuck the people who have an opinion about this. Fuck these white folks. Fuck these people. Fuck you. That's my man. He can say whatever the fuck he want on my page. Okay? Kiss my ass, so what? But I think that you capitulate so much, and then it gets to the point where that's just the norm. And so when you have somebody like me or somebody like Tu that's like, nah, I refuse. Now we look crazy and out of pocket. Like,
what does that say though? Because you say he's the head of State Farm.
Yeah.
Right. Not.
He lived down in Bloomington.
No, I don't know. No, like I don't know, like what he.
That's cool. I just
they had a
headquarters down
branch.
like a regional director, some shit like that. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
Right.
like
So now, not knocking your man, right? But on the economic totem pole, that ain't all that high. Okay, that ain't all that high.
Not in the large scheme of things. No, I'm sure he pulls in $110, $1 something.
So on the economic totem pole, that ain't high at all.
We do the numbers all the time. I know.
Right. So I'm asking if that's how he responds. How do black men in power respond? Like real power, like not even just economic. Because if he's making 110, that's the top of our economic food chain in a lot of ways. Right. But most of our real power in America comes through either politics or entertainment. Right. And I think that it's case studies to me. Like you got two sides of the spectrum, like the conversation we was having with Black, what was my man's name? Black Ice?
Yeah.
The poet?
Yeah.
And he bust down the Most Def lines. He was like, you either thugs or kings, but there's no in-betweens. Right? And then it's the view of what's a thug or what's a king. Right? So put it in perspective. I.e. the version that we see, at least from how we've been socialized, that guy at the top of the political conversation, specifically that black person, in our community, he's kind of heralded as a king in a lot of ways. He's the prototype of how you're supposed to be, right? I.e. educated. Well, you don't really know if that's true or not, but he looks the part. You know what I mean? But on the other end of that opposite side of that spectrum, economically, is, let's say, the entertainers, black male entertainers. And they're all kind of pushed into this kind of criminalization kind of format. It's this, you got this whole spectrum, but you only end up on the ends of it. You know what I mean? You either hypersexual or homosexual. You know what I mean? It's no in between. It's either you a king or a peasant.
Sure.
It's no in between here.
Sure.
Right? But i.e. the king version of that, right? The peasant version gets away with my nigga, but it's over aggressive shit that the Chief Keef version, right? And I mean that in this sense. You in a room with 20 other niggas with your shirt off. In my vantage point, that's not thuggish, that's gay.
Hold on, wait, why is that? So you just can be just chilling in the...
No. 20 niggas in one little small room jumping up and down, sweating together is gay to me. I'm sorry, maybe I missed the boat. That's some gay shit. With your ass hanging out your goddamn pants and your pants fitting you like spray-on pants. Now, it might be being sold as tough, but at Bennett, I've seen my son in that shit. I'm like, fam, what is y'all doing?
Turning up.
You're turning up, right. You don't need to turn up this way. This ain't the way to turn up, my brother. This looks strange to me.
Sure.
Right? It just does. Maybe I'm from a different generation, right?
Sure.
It looks very strange to me.
Sure.
Right? But then on the back end of that same imagery is leveraged for the hypersexual motherfucker. It's like on one end, you could use this image to be this motherfucker, and then you could use this image to be the gay dude too. It's the same shit. We're being played on both ends of the side, but to the point that Reese made about his boy being at State Farm. I got a partner who's a doctor now, love him to death, grew up the next block over from me, and he got a story. You understand me?
Right.
He got a past. He got a story. Love him to death. I would never let him be my doctor.
Okay.
You understand? Because I know his true story. Right? But
that don't disqualify, as a doctor, that doesn't disqualify him. I'm disappointed.
It disqualifies him for me. I love him, hands down.
Okay.
But the point I'm making is this. You know, when I talk to him on the phone today, it's like it's a different human being. Right? And I look at that and I say, damn, man.
Yeah.
This is a real case study.
Yeah. Bothers me.
Because I legitimately know this story from beginning to end.
Bothers me.
Right? And I say to myself, well, and brilliant brother. Brilliant brother, right? Brilliant brother. And part of the wild shit he probably did as a shorty was probably because of his brilliance. He thought he didn't fit into what the moniker was supposed to be. So let me go extra hard at being this kind of motherfucker to prove to y'all I fit here.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
It's a case study that you're never comfortable with yourself. You know what I mean? And then we as a community praise these images as the viable persons to be. Right? On some levels of that spectrum, we praise the grimy criminal element. It's the truth. We can't lie and say dope boys in our communities don't get heralded.
They do.
They do.
as much or more than anybody else in our community.
They are the celebrities of the black community.
Big facts.
Right?
Yeah.
We can't lie and say the politicians of our community who we know are fucking us with no Vaseline don't get praised and heralded.
The reverends.
Right? The fact that Obama went to Harvard was a chip in our belt for us. That was a notch in our belt. Right? But in reality, from a Chicago standpoint, he probably would have served you better as being a goddamn graduate of Chicago State because it was a relationship to the community.
And some type of shared experience.
It's a relationship to the crib, a shared experience, you're right. But that's not a notch on our belt.
No.
The Harvard was.
It's the other shit.
Right, because
meanwhile, you couldn't find it on the map.
Couldn't find them. You don't know nothing about no goddamn Cambridge.
You grab 10 motherfuckers from your community and give them a map, like point to where you think Harvard is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Just it's off the chain. But I think that for me, I just think that it's imperative for those of us who are willing to just remain, just to be, right? All I ever want is to just be. Like, just let me fucking be me is all the fuck I want. It's the shit we talk about white people being able to do all the time. But for us, it's always this extra other shit. And it's like, nah, bro. You ever been to like
being is the freedom.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is like you hang out with like a rich, powerful white dude, right? He's wild as fuck, fam. Okay? He's not in this motherfucker like, yo, I gotta worry about the brand. I'm talking about he's the fucking CEO of whatever the fuck you want, and he's in this bitch with no shirt on, standing on the table, pouring champagne on like young chicks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Wild as hell. Come on, all fucking night. They doing lines in front of everybody's face. Like, but you work in his company 17 rungs down, and you like, oh, I gotta be in the party like this. Man, fuck, this nigga standing on the table, fam.
But if being is the freedom, right? When we push to win economically, and the only options are to go into these spaces that are not self-serving or natural to your being, essentially, even you're creating a pathway to your goals. Even your goals become prisons.
Exactly.
Right?
And the loftier they are, the more in prison.
I'm only using Chief Keef because he's easily identified.
Sure.
Right? But truth be told, Chief Keef is an iconic figure in hip hop.
No doubt about it. He changed the landscape.
He changed the landscape, right? And if you've seen his maturation, because there has been a maturation, right? There's a maturation that has happened over the last, I don't know, whatever, how many
10
years
years
he's been in the game, 10 years or something.
10, 11.
But he can't escape the stereotype of the vision that he created of himself.
No.
You know what I mean? And it works vice versa for those other people. So even back to my homie who became the doctor, got his own practice, all that shit, he don't really fit in the no world.
No.
Because he's, even though his dialect has changed,
Wire quote
his
loading.
address has changed,
Wire quote loading.
you still don't fit there.
No.
Right? And then when you come back to around our way with the language and the change in inflection, I'm not talking about the language. We can understand the vocabulary.
I know words.
Right? We understand
I'm talking about speech patterns.
Speech patterns, inflections. And it ain't the same, bro. And I love you. And I know you're not comfortable no more.
Avon told Stringer Bell, say, you know what I see when I look at you? I see a man without a country. You know what I'm saying? He said, not hard enough for this shit right here. And maybe, just maybe, not smart enough for them over there. Like, he's like, you know the difference between, he said, you bleed green. I bleed red, fam. That's the fucking difference between us right now. And I think you got a lot of people out here that are a man without a country. For real. Like, you ain't accepted over there, but you've moved so far from over here that you don't even feel comfortable over here either no more. And so it's like, I can't imagine, I don't know what level I would ever get to where I go on my social media page and one of my partners for life is on that motherfucker, like, what up, nigga? And I'm like, delete that. What are we doing here, fam? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? That don't even make sense to me, dog. I ran into one of my homies from grammar school in fucking LA. Hadn't seen this nigga since grammar school. He was working at a place that I was fucking eating at. And he like, yo, and he asked me all these stupid ass questions, and he's really irritating me, and I just almost cursed him out for fucking up my food. But then I realized who he was. Instantly we jump up, hugging and shit. I don't care what's going on here or who I was here with or why I was fucking here. Like, but it's just like, I don't know why we fucking behave that way. It's weird to me. And not weird in the sense that I don't understand it. I know exactly why you're doing it. But to your point, why am I going to do something that makes me more imprisoned as a person? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't aspire for that shit. Like, you can keep that shit. If I got to do this for it, miss me with that, fam, okay? Like, nah. No, you don't have enough to make me become some shit I'm not. Or to treat people that I fucking love or have real relationships with less than that. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I could be wherever, whatever, and I could see a cluck from over east. I know that cluck. And I'm going to show love, and you can pause and shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that matters to me. And I don't.
But it matters to so many others.
But does it really? Or is it just you just trying to get to the fucking bag in any way, shape, or form?
But
do you really? Were you really offended that DJ said nigga on your page? Did that really bother you?
But see, even when you say does it really, or are you just trying to get to the bag? I think at the core of it, our value systems are created by the bag. Mm-hmm. Until we get the bag, we have no value, right? And that's a response from
that's tough.
The socialization of white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So operating and moving in my godly spirit allows me to be without consequence.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because what you think of me really doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking matter.
It's what I think of me that matters most.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's irregular. That's not normal.
It's abnormal for sure.
It's abnormal,
mm-hmm.
right? So when we think about it from the standpoint of how the socialization has worked, we see all of these, i.e. the brand. I'm my brand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What?
You a person, fam.
You're not a brand, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But we all have been socialized to think that way.
Mm-hmm.
So people, I see it all the time, man. I think it's J. Cole. I don't know. No, Drake it is.
Okay.
Right, where he talks about in one of his raps, and he was like, man, I know a girl whose whole thing was to go to Spain, and she got to Spain, and all she did was take pictures to show people who wasn't there instead of enjoying the moment. I know a girl who talks about being happily married on social media, but after she's, it's a horrible situation. It's all of us are operating outside of our truths.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying all of us, but a very large percentage of us is operating outside of our truths.
100%.
Afraid of the consequences of living in our truth. Right? And what are the consequences of living in our truth? Well, what is the fear attached to living in our truth? Mm-hmm. Right? And the fear of the living in our truth is the backlash of, being shunned or spoke of negatively about. Right? But the very nature of this journey,
that's the irony of it.
Right? Mm-hmm. Is enduring and overcoming those ills, whatever they might be. Mm-hmm. That's how you become a whole human being. Mm-hmm. But we avoid the whole human being process because we don't see any value in that. We see value in the material, the falsified, the pretend. Mm-hmm. So the bag gives us the motherfucking leeway to create the illusion. The bag gives us the leeway to become the magician.
Yeah, but it's
right?
bullshit.
I know I ain't shit, but my car say I'm the shit.
You're still a fucking lame. No. Like if you a lame, you a lame.
No.
But see, there
no.
No,
you are.
Yes, you are.
You can get
that's why it's a nigga. That's why it's a nigga right now with a 15-bedroom crib that drive 3-4 Bentleys, and his wife is getting hit by some nigga that work at McDonald's.
But that's cool because he can hop in one of them Bentleys any given time and be the shit. He can go and really pick up any girl.
But he's really not, and he knows it.
But that's cool though. But when he get in that car though, that person don't know it. All they immediately see is, oh, this man got a Tesla. I'm getting in.
What I'm saying is he knows it. True. It doesn't change who you are, fam.
It don't.
You fucking know it.
It don't change who you are inside, but it changes who you are outside. And that's what everybody, come on, how many people you very rarely see on your social media be like, damn, I ain't paid my rent this month, I'm fucked up, I'm borrowing my best friend's shoes.
When we know the statistics, the data tells us that a lot of people is fucking broke.
Right.
Most people were fucking broke.
Everybody, but on your Facebook,
everybody's rich.
Bag, right?
Everybody's rich.
You're like, damn, you working motherfucker.
Ain't no broke people left.
You working at McDonald's. Like, what the fuck?
Ain't no broke people
left. Like, and that's what I'm saying. So it's more about the perception. And like you said,
ain't nobody materially broke, but everybody spiritually broke.
For sure. Now we want to please everybody. We want our outside image to please everybody else. Broke. And when really in the inside, we need to please our damn self.
That's what I'm saying, G. For me, the bag is Herb does exactly what Herb wants to do almost every fucking day. That is the bag for me, fam. You can't pay me enough to make me do something else, fam.
That's a lie. Somebody tell you $10 million.
You're wrong, G. You're wrong. $10 million will do what? What do you think that I will capitulate for?
I don't know, just stop cussing or something, or stop doing something. For $10 million, you will weigh that option.
We're talking about something to improve myself.
I've been watching the what's my man Bumpy Johnson, the King of Harlem, or whatever they call that. the
King of Harlem, like that.
Yeah.
With Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. So last week's episode, Bumpy's right hand man kills this Italian dude in the whole house. He comes out and he's trying to disrespect one of the women. My man pops his ass on deck. Right? Now, Bumpy's in cahoots with some Italians doing some business. Right? So Bumpy says, he goes to the Italians and say, I can't let y'all kill my man. And because we doing business, you got to give me some kind of way around this. Right? So they say, man, get that motherfucker out of town tonight. He can't never come back to Harlem. Right? Bumpy tells his man, hey, man, get up out of Harlem, G. Right?
Gotta go.
You got to go.
Best I could do was get you up out of here.
Best I could do is get you up out of there. Right? So dude was contemplating getting up out of there. He goes to see his old lady late at night, and she's like, what are you still doing here? He was like, man, I'm not going. Fuck that shit. Harlem is home. I'm staying here. Right? So the next day, Bumpy finds out he's still in town. The Italians found out too. They on his ass. We got to kill his mark. Right? Bumpy goes to holler at his man trying to get you up out of here. Now, first Bumpy says, because his old lady comes to Bumpy like, man, you got to help us. And Bumpy's like, man, he ain't follow my rules. Fuck him. Right? Bumpy goes to holler at him, and he was like, man, why ain't you follow my rules? He was like, because I ain't no punk. This is my home. Right? And Bumpy's like, man, you fucking up a lot of shit. And my man says, what, the money? And he was like, yeah, the money, motherfucker. You fucking up the money. And he was like, but what about our dignity?
What about that?
He was like, man, and he used a racially derogatory term to describe Italians, right? And he was like, they treat us like shit. And he's talking about in regards to their working partnership. He was like, they still talk to us like we
What they call them?
WAPs. Or some other guineas or whatever it is. I don't even know. That's why I say
I thought you were scared.
It ain't that I'm running from it. I just ain't sure
cool.
if it happened.
Okay, cool.
I don't know it.
I had to check you. I had to make sure.
But yeah, I don't give a fuck. But the point was, he was like, even when we working together, they still treating us like niggas. And he says and Bumpy's like, the money. He was like, man, how much does your dignity cost? And Bumpy says there's a price to everything. Now, this is how this get interesting. Even your dignity. That's what Bumpy was saying. There's even a price for your dignity, right? So, scene cuts. So, from the viewer standpoint, it looks like Bumpy's like, I'm selling your ass out. I'm not going to miss my bag.
Right.
Fuck you. You made your own decision. I tried to help.
Right.
Figure the shit out. So, then the scene cuts to Bumpy going to talk to the Italians. He got his homie with him. He's in the car saying, hey, man, follow my fucking lead and don't fuck this up. Right? Because the Italians didn't kidnap this girl at this point, too. Right? So they get there. Now, Bumpy done already gave the Italians all the profit for this month, trying to make a deal with them. Right? He came to him with half.
Buy his freedom.
He came to him at first with half the profits. Hey, I'll give you all my profits, half my profits this month. The Italian said, no, that ain't going to work. Give me all your profits. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind, my man said to him, everything has a cost, even dignity. Right? He goes to the Italians. It's from half to whole. I'm taking all your shit, nigga. Be clear. They get there. They got his girl. And Bumpy says, hey, man, send the girl over. We'll send him over. We ain't sending the girl over. Send him over. Then we'll decide whether or not we want to send the girl over. Right? They going through this thing. And he was like, man, I told you I'll bring him here. This is supposed to be a negotiation.
Right.
Supposed to be a deal. And then you see the Italians ramping up to shoot the girl and homie. Right? The energy's getting hyped.
Right.
And then Bumpy pulls out, pops the Italian, his other partner that they trying to kill. They pop all these Italians quick. Right? Except for the ringleader, he kind of walks away. And i.e. leading to the next episode. But there's an important message there. Because Bumpy said there's a price on everything. Even dignity. Bumpy was willing to
I'm willing to pay the price for my
whatever
dignity.
Price for his dude. The Italians didn't. There ain't no price you could pay, motherfucker.
Right. Don't matter.
Ain't no price you could pay.
We on what we on. We already decided.
We on code over here. It ain't a price on everything. And that's the conditioning that our mind has. That's why the dude that my son them talking about can pretend to be gay for money. right? That's why this shit with Matt Barnes and Kwame, at this point in this, again, I will say it over and over again, it's a nuanced conversation. That's why it's looking goofy now. Because now it ain't about the goddamn dignity no more. It's about the opportunity.
It bothers me a whole lot. The whole thing and how it continues to grow and expand and how it becomes this thing that everybody's so willing to do. Because when I'm like, no the fuck I wouldn't, DJ my mans, he like, nigga, yes the fuck you would. And it's like, no the fuck I wouldn't. But because everybody would, then I have to be lying and say that I wouldn't. It's like, I'm really not fucking lying. Now, has somebody offered me $100 million to do some fuck shit? No, nobody's ever offered me $100 million to do some fuck shit. Somebody's offered me a pretty big bag to do some fuck shit. I turned it down. To this day, I kind of be like, yeah, but I wouldn't do it, G.
If you wouldn't do it, then you wouldn't have thought about it twice. You know what I'm saying? If somebody, you know, you can wear, hey, man, every time, man, you come on this show, man, you got to dress like Mrs. Doubtfire.
You dead on that.
For $100 million.
You dead on that, fam.
For $100 million.
You're dead on that, fam.
Shit, put me in that motherfucking car.
And that's cool, right?
You can call me what you
I'm not
call
doing
me.
it, though.
And they know that.
You call me what you want to call me.
And that's why I just told you that Bumpy story. They know that.
I'm not coming to this motherfucker dressed like Mrs. Doubtfire every day.
They'll give LeBron $1 billion. But when Bron went to China and started talking that China shit, they said, shut your bitch ass up. And he shut his bitch ass up.
For sure.
Right? But I want you to understand why this is important, right? Because the narrative of Bron for youth is that he is the stature of manhood, right? And it's not just in regards to basketball. They even talk about his political shit. But the minute the power structure says, shut your pussy ass up, he shut his pussy ass up. And it ain't just around that, it's around everything. So are you really what we should be aspiring to? Is he more of a man than Malcolm? Malcolm ain't had no bread. Is he more of a man than King? King didn't have no bread. Is he a man at all? If somebody could tell you to shut your bitch ass up, i.e. back to Beach. First thing Herb said to Beach was, man, we appreciate all your sacrifices. Beach said, what sacrifices? And this is so fucking important.
Huge.
Right?
Huge.
He said that wasn't fucking losing my football opportunities wasn't no fucking sacrifice. Because that wasn't what the fuck I valued in the first place.
Right.
I'm a man. And you going to treat me like a man. Right? But i.e. how we've been operating in reverse. I ain't a man. Hey, boss, I need this contract.
Right. For me, the $100 million wouldn't.
And when you got that mind
sacrifice
state,
the $100 million for my dignity.
When you got that mind state, you can't produce Ali's. Because Ali gave up the money. He gave up the bag,
the belt,
for
all
his
that
belief
shit.
system.
I'm not going.
Which
you can't make
is
me
why
go.
he's the greatest. I don't give a fuck what money Mayweather do. I don't give a fuck how much cash he counts on Instagram. He will never supersede Ali.
The Viet Cong ain't done nothing to me. Viet Cong ain't calling me nigga. That's y'all. I ain't going.
He'll never supersede Ali.
Fuck you.
You see motherfuckers running around here with Muhammad Ali tattoos. You ever seen a motherfucking Mayweather tattoo? You're never gonna see one. What's more important? Where's the value lie?
The bread is more important.
Right now in life, yeah, the bread is definitely winning right now.
The bread is what everybody's in steadfast pursuit of.
But the bread, what I'm saying, i.e., we see the bread as freedom. But I just gave you examples of how the bread is really just building bigger prisons for your monkey ass.
Exactly. 100%.
You still ain't free. What free nigga you seeing out here with the bread? I just told you that LeBron got to be at the top of the Mount Rushmore bread. When they said shut your bitch ass up, he was like, okay, boss. Is that freedom?
Because he can't risk the brand.
Is that freedom?
I'm not just a man anymore. I'm not just LeBron James from Akron, Ohio. I am a whole brand that is responsible and accountable to all of these other rich, powerful motherfuckers above me, and they tell me what to do. Man,
I bet you they can't tell Fat Con to shut the fuck up and he ain't got LeBron bread. Who's freer? Who looks like more of a man? They can't tell me to shut the fuck up, but I ain't got a 10 for LeBron bread.
Okay.
Who's freer?
I was disappointed. I left the fucking mall yesterday. Like, damn, I gotta stop fucking spending. Like, I left the mall count my money yesterday. Like, I don't got no fucking bread, but I do whatever the fuck I want to do, and I value that more than anything. G.
And also, right? I want again. This is a highly masculine driven conversation, and a lot of that shit for me goes back to raising up the youth all the time. Right, because this entire journey is just about making a better pathway for them. That's it. right? And I often wonder, like there's this colloquialism that says if you can't feed them, you can't lead them. And I tend to buy into that as a philosophy. But now I got the question, what's feed them mean? Is it feed them spiritually or is it to feed them tangibly? And I think there's, it's an interesting dichotomy because you could pass out all the money, but will that buy their loyalty? And maybe loyalty isn't even the right word, right? It's, can you feed their spirits to a point where they buy into your beliefs? Mm-hmm. And if they buy into your beliefs, they can recognize that they are gods, and in being gods, they have the power to change not only their soul situations,
sure,
but the community situation,
sure,
right? And I think there's some value in just considering the possibilities of not being controlled by the capital.
Just consider it.
Just fucking consider it. Because if you
it.
look at the board, you'll see that the motherfuckers with the capital is probably some of the most controlled motherfuckers you've seen.
That's true.
What about the people that like do it to just say, you know what, I'm going to do it so I can make sure that the people below me don't do it?
Have you seen that happen, or is that just big cap?
I've seen some people then like did some stuff. So that,
You've seen people get to the bag in a real way and then come and free everybody else with it?
I got somebody that he got some bread and then he took a couple of his gangbanging homies out.
Okay.
And they
out to do what? To make them capitulators?
No, they started their own stuff, but you know, he definitely, you have to settle a little soul for
again, outliers.
I'm with, hey, look, truly believe this is capitalist America. I'm not saying don't go get the money.
Robin Hood type shit.
Right? But again, somebody, I don't know who it was on here, maybe it was Ready Rock, but she leveraged a Dame Dash quote. And it says, like Dame said, I'll be good with 10 million I earn versus 100 million in being controlled.
Every single time.
And I think there's a difference in understanding, right? The little Arab dude who runs the corner store is a multimillionaire, but he owns that. He's making the decisions there. He runs that, right? Part of the freedom in which I can leverage the words and the language I use on this microphone is because I don't work for no white man. I don't work for no man. Right? I have a skill set that allows me to create capital out of thin fucking air, out of my ideas. I can create capital. You understand me? I am God. Watch me manifest the money, motherfucker. It's real, right? So, but the vast majority of us who do realize large-scale capital investments don't come from being independently employed. It don't happen that way because we don't control any industry. You'd have to control industry to do that, or control some level of distribution to do that, right? So the vast majority of us who are, first of all, the numbers is the numbers. If you in the 1%, you 120 plus. That's it, right? So the average person in our community making 120 plus, and it ain't that many, right? The average person making 120 plus in our community is employed usually by some white person, i.e. the politician. I can go to work for half a day and make $120,000, which is why they never leaving them posts. Because going to work for a half a day, I make more than everybody else in our community. You know what I mean? And I don't do shit. I don't do shit. I sit in here and I drink with my partners. That's what the fuck is really happening in them offices. Be clear about that shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's real.
I know. And you know, I got another homie. He do politics. I wouldn't say that he changed, but you know, he said, he definitely go out, all that. He was on the Biden and all that, and I really talk to him and stuff like that. When I see him outside, he a regular dude, you know what I'm saying? But when he with his people, a little bit. But when he come out, he a regular dude. Mm-hmm. But you can't really tell him, if he went to work and they said something to him, and he be like, all right, I'm already being the best uppity nigger I can be right now. But you can't tell him to shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way with you from Eastern too. He'd be like, no, fuck you. I quit. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how much, I'm straight.
I think I know Shorty. You down in Springfield?
No, this is Charles Cowell.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know one of the other little
Shorties. I think he just became, you talking about the one that's Peoria. I think one of our brothers.
I might be off. But one of them reached out to me not too long ago. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. So.
But again, I know a lot of politicians. A lot of politicians are my personal friends. They're not doing shit.
Oh yeah, he say that already.
You know what I mean? It's a buddy network. They sit and they drink, and those of them who are connected to the criminal or closer connected to the criminal element provide the criminal shit for the rest of them. Trust and believe.
That's how it works.
That's how it's an old boys network, and they stay there. But again, that speaks to one. It's also their lack of empathy for our community because they're not really there to serve the people in a lot of instances. Right? But it also speaks to our willingness to allow that shit to happen as a community.
Exactly. That too.
You know what I mean? We allow it.
Why are we willing to allow it?
Because we trained and because we
on the same bullshit.
As we grow up, our goal is to get out the hood.
We on the same bullshit.
Our goal is to get out.
We're on the same bullshit. He's like he did it first. Right?
I don't even know I will say it is to get out the hood, but I think it's again, man, I think the American way, this ain't the black way. I think the American way is to avoid the journey and just reach the destination. We all think this shit is Star Trek and you can beam me the fuck up, Scotty. We want to avoid the work portion of all this shit. How can I not do shit and have a goal? That's how we all kind of think. That's how America operates.
And if I capitulate just enough,
being at
I
the
can
bottom,
skip a few rungs on the ladder.
But see, this is why I say it's no sign of sanity to fully assimilate into a sane society. White people can do that, right? Because they've been generating wealth for 500-600 fucking years.
Generational wealth.
Right? So I don't really got to do much but get older and the cash is going to fucking show up eventually. It's what it is. Right? Even when you see a white dope fiend, they're stable. Think about that shit. They ain't living in the park or in the car. They're stable. Right? You live out west. 290 is the heroin highway because they're going back further to the western suburbs. They got somewhere to be. You understand what I'm saying? Sure. Even on the dope fiend in our community is kind of the bottom of the barrel. That's the bottom of their barrel community too, but they still stable. Probably more stable than the upright people in our community. You understand what I'm saying? But it's the mindset. And again, we are an immigrant population per se, right? But we are the only ones who don't come with a culture. So we've aligned ourselves with American culture and values. So we operate just like the white man. We want the destination without the journey.
We have the same aspirations, but we don't even have the...
But we don't have the access to opportunity or the access to resource. We don't have the bag waiting on us. But so we can't have the same mentality.
Right. So I got to find ways for me to get to that, right? And so that looks like one of a few ways. And you know, in this day and age, capitulating is the way to go. Right? It's just the way to go, and it just upsets me that it's so fucking prevalent because when you like, nah, it's like, nah, you fucking lying. It's like, no, I just think that's fuck shit. Like, I'm not. I just think it's fuck shit.
But see, capitulating ain't the way to go. And I'm gonna say it. And I get what you're saying. But what happens is, if you don't have any power, man, as a community, as a man, eventually you can't capitulate no more. You just the bitch.
Oh.
The
100%.
Right? You just a bitch.
100%.
And when I know you just a bitch, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do.
100%, dog.
Right? So when we think about Chicago specific, and Chicago is Mecca for black people, in my opinion. This is Mecca for black Americans, right? And it always has been, i.e. why Oprah ass came here, i.e. why Obama ass came here, i.e. why Farrakhan's ass came here. Because it's the largest concentration of Southern Negroes, American descendants of slaves on this fucking soil, right? So what that built was a community. Right, in a way that you don't really see across this country, right? And I'm a little older than y'all, so I was here when Harold Washington got elected. I was here seeing Eugene Sawyer become the mayor. I was not only was I here, but I was engaged in that shit because of kind of the father I had. So I got to see what Black Power really looked like, right? Ty Stroger, the original Ty Stroger, right? When you get to really anchoring yourself in and knowing them men's stories, though, right? You will see that they was connected. Gator Wallace right now today is out here talking shit.
Shout out to Gator.
And Gator is the man next to the man.
You know, Gator been wanting to be on I Say What I Said for like 2 years.
I'm with it. We got Gator on, but my point is Gator publicly announces that I'm with Larry Hoover.
100%.
I'm folks to the core.
100%.
So what you saw was that them politicians had relationships to the streets. Them street niggas had relationships to the politics. It was one working unit. And we was all here for... Even still, everybody's getting their coin. Everybody's making a dollar. But it's what I say all the time. You cannot grow capital without community. You got to build community first. So from the streets to the suites, there was some level of community happening, i.e. which allowed us to have some levels of power.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you look at that in a short span of 40-something years. Right? Harold Washington, even Daley. Daley was a white mayor, right? Who Junior Daly. I ain't
Right.
talking about
Not the
original
daddy,
Daly.
right.
Junior Daly was the mayor of Chicago for
30 fucking years. Who knows? A long fucking time.
A long time, right?
Because it wasn't nobody. He was the only person in between Harold and Rahm, right?
No. Eugene Sawyer, and then whoever was directly after Eugene Sawyer. And it might have been Daly. I'm not sure.
Okay, go ahead.
But my point is, one of the things that you could I don't even want to say appreciate because that might be the wrong word, right? But the Daly machine, because at least of how structured the black community had been, he still had to engage black people with offerings, right? So when you see these big church congregations and all they fucking members work for the city, that's an offering for the black vote, i.e. at least have some value. And I'm not with the preacher shit. I get all the nuances that could go with that. But I want y'all to think about the differences. Daly leaves, Rahm comes in. Mm-hmm. Rahm says, I ain't got to give you a motherfucking thing. And why didn't Rahm have to give you a motherfucking thing? Because we voted for him off the strength of Obama's name anyway. Right. I don't owe you shit.
You niggas already love me.
I can do what the fuck I want to do with you. So what you start
Joe
to
Biden.
see is over that time period, that power structure gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Now we're here where we got a 18, 19 member black caucus and can't do shit. We got cut out of weed. We finna get cut out of gambling. We finna think about that shit, right? Mm-hmm. We got cut out of weed.
Mm-hmm. And we probably the main one smoking that.
There's national conversations around reparations just around weed that black people are supposed to receive because this nigga's still going to jail for weed. Why they legalize it in all damn near across the country at this point, right? Mm-hmm. We got totally cut out the conversation. Because the black caucus is weak as fuck. Because you don't have no real connection to community. And you've just become a prisoner to your $120,000.
Because you castrated yourself at go.
Yeah. Right. You capitulated.
Mm-hmm.
And after 5 years of capitulating, now you just a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's sickening, bro.
That's how it plays out. It just is what it is, man. I don't know, man. At this point, I'd rather not even focus on how much capitulating happens and just find a tribe of motherfuckers who are like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Like the fucking cops that took down Frank Lucas, right? It was only like 5 of them motherfuckers because everybody else in the department was on the payroll.
It was crooked.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was on. He couldn't even hang out with the cops. He couldn't even get backup on a call because he turned in $1 million cash. A drug money. And so they like, you turn in $1 million cash of drug money, nigga, we don't trust you. Fuck you. We all taking that bread, right? It was like 5 niggas who was like, nah, I won't do that. But them 5 niggas took down the kingpin. And it's just like, yo, all right, never mind all these other motherfucking cops, okay? Give me 5 niggas that I know won't take a nickel off the street. And we gonna get it done. And I feel the same way at this point. Like, okay, everybody else is on this shit. Got it. I understand it. It makes a whole lot of sense. I'm not saying that it didn't make sense for them cops to be taking all that fucking money, right? What we doing here? We're not really finna win no fucking drug war. The country not even trying to win the fucking drug war. I might as well take the bag and go home, right? But my point is that the few of the motherfuckers who weren't on that were completely committed to it, and you know they reached their own personal goal. That didn't really fucking matter at the end of the day, but they reached their goal. And I think that similarly, we could do the same thing with whomever is like, nah. Even though, like, get to the bag, right? But like you saying, your mans, get to the bag, bring it back, pull some motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't just capitulate so much to where now you're just a bitch.
But that's what I think we be getting lost in. Like, do we really owe the hood something? Like, do we really owe them something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I owe them.
And it's not so much right? It is my desire for the hood and my community to be as healthy as possible because I think that's the best thing for me, right? It ain't the best thing for me, in my opinion, is not for me to elevate myself above everybody in my community and then I go somewhere else because I ain't really welcome there either. I want to be anchored right where the fuck I am. I want to be right here. And the best way for me to be right here and be healthy, whole, and happy is for everybody else to be good too. I love y'all motherfuckers, number one. Number two, it's better for me if y'all is cool, right? It's better for me if everybody around this motherfucker is straight. And so, throw the big neighborhood barbecues and shit. Yeah, let motherfuckers come. Like, I don't know, man. I just see it differently.
We owe them, G, because that's what this life is about. That's just what this journey is about. right? It's the interconnectivity of all things, right? Now, granted, and that's all humanity in reality. That's all humanity. That's what the value of this human experience is about, making a greater pathway for the next human experience, right? A greater understanding for the next human experience, and after that, and after that. But when in Rome, you got to do as the Romans, right? And in order for us, you know, we had this conversation with Sadiq a couple of days ago, and Sadiq said, man, in a lot of ways, racism is our saving grace, because it hasn't allowed us to assimilate fully into this idea of scarcity that white people have that have dominated and why they've came to capture the most of the planet, right? We just ain't been able to assimilate. Not that we don't want to. We desire to like a motherfucker.
Desperately.
We just ain't been able to. You've been shut out, right? So, which goes to the conversation I've had before when I said, you know, black people have been the moral compass of America. Not because we want to be, but because that's all the fuck we've had. All we got is morality. You understand? So, even today, right, we give more to charity than any other people and we ain't got shit, right? Because all we have is our morality, because we ain't been allowed to the table. You know what I mean? But in truth, that morality is a reflection of love, which is a reflection of the God in us.
Exactly. I fucking
Right?
love you. Like I don't even I won't even use the term owe. I don't think I owe nobody shit. I just fucking love you. And I really think that it's the healthiest thing for me is for my whole collective to be healthy. Like that's I don't owe them shit because I don't.
It's you have a responsibility to. It's just like a household, man. Mm-hmm. I got a responsibility to my child. Mm-hmm. I got a responsibility to my wife, even if she ain't my fucking wife. Mm-hmm. Even if that shit ends, because I planted this seed here, I got a responsibility to you, to your ass ain't, at least until I ain't here no more. That's how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. And I feel the same way about our people, right? It's all of us have a responsibility to each other to help all of us grow, period. Now, what does growth look like? To some, it looks like an economic advantage. That's not what it looks like for me. Now, I'll take advantage of that if it happens. I'm with it. I ain't going to say no to it.
I'm not
right.
Money averse.
Yeah, I'm not money averse. No, I get it. We here. You in the, what's Salik say? You in the water.
Right.
You got to swim. It's
right.
part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the real journey is about building that community and that communal love. What's the African proverbs? Many hands make for lighter work. That's what this shit is. All of us creating a pathway for the next ones to come up under us. You know, when we look at 63rd and you hear songs like I'm from 63rd, not from 65th, and this shit is permeating across the goddamn country. Like this, let's think about this shit, y'all. This 2 blocks. This ain't no wide array of shit. This is 2 blocks.
Some of you niggas stay in the same complex.
One big homie should be able to shut that shit down. This is a narrative that is permeating across the country where we allowing black boys and girls to get killed daily because they doing this shit because they thinking themselves like brands. This shit is making money now.
I told you who the big homies is.
The big homie is the dollar sign attached to the gold. That's the big homie because that's where the value lies. But in my day or in the day before that, it's the goddamn Bumpy conversation. Bumpy these motherfuckers gonna kill you. Unless I be the big homie that I'm supposed to be. Right? One big homie should be able to shut that shit. How many people have died in the last however long I'm from 64th, not from 60, just that moniker?
Oh, that shit been busting for a minute.
Let's say that shit's been going on for 5 years.
Right.
Oh, I thought you were about the whole thing.
No, just that one drill rap music conversation. How many deaths you think you can attach to that one fucking line?
100?
A lot.
A whole fucking lot.
Yeah, but like Lil Durk said, hey, yo, big homies ain't big homies. They ain't trying to get direction. The advice he gave to me, I told that nigga he could have kept it.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we grew up in an era where it was somebody always trying to look out for us. You know, somebody always trying to look. Now it's not the area. I told you, every time I see somebody that's, you know what I'm saying, that I grew up in the 80s. I mean, I was born in the 80s. A 70 dude that was born in the 70s called me big homie. You know,
right.
Hey, big homie, what you doing? Like,
right.
You know, that dude is 45, finna be 50 or something.
Because we lost our way, G. We lost our way. But I can tell you on the back end of that too, though, right? When you show up in your proper polarity, all that shit go away. They go away. I done been in hoods that ain't my hood, we were shooters. And once they see the God in me, because I ain't backing down, I ain't pretending, and I ain't creating no facade, all that shit goes out the door. Now, what I also have noticed, because we used to do programs with other men who's supposed to represent man energy. I see them get into them rooms, and start to present lies to these shorties. And them shorties see through that shit.
It's right through it. Shit is
and the kind of person that I am, I call them on their bullshit immediately. This ain't what that room is. Mm-hmm. Here's the truth. Here's even your truth. Let's tell your truth. Motherfucker, you make $30,000 a year. And no, you not balling. But you ain't looking over your shoulder for a nigga shooting your motherfucking noodle off either.
Good.
You understand what I'm saying? But be honest. Because the 30,000 don't define you as a man anyway.
You know what I think? I be thinking when somebody be trying to, like train, children, I think they be trying to give them the, tell them the right thing to say when like really the right thing is to keep it a buck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like don't tell me don't try to write me a blueprint on it,
Right and wrong is fucking relative. You know what I'm saying? It's about power. If I'm empowered, then I get to determine what's right and what's wrong. The real thing to do is just to fucking be, right? Just give me the real. Like, tell it to me straight, keep it a buck, and then let it just fucking be. You know what I'm saying? But we right and wrong. Meanwhile, you capitulating for the right and wrong shit all the fucking time. And it's just like, no, man. Like, I just really want us moving forward to get to a space to where even when we view somebody successful, right? Look at it with a little bit of a different lens to understand, okay, is that okay, good for you, fam. All right, you done found your way to your bag. If that's how you want to do it, cool. Good for you, LeBron James. Is this really good for the collective, right? I say at the top of this show every single day, we want to find out some solutions for the individual, but more importantly, we want solutions for the collective. That's what this conversation is about. And an individual capitulating for their own pursuit of the bag is not the healthiest thing for the collective. And they not the fucking same. It's just not the fucking same. It's like people trying to make Dr. King and Obama the same person. They're not the fucking same. They don't even play for the same fucking team. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like.
But our ignorance and our lack of engagement allows for that. That's the conditioning, right? Because you don't know, because you're not dug deeper than the shallow part of the pool. You just because the images are being sold to you in a certain kind of way, you don't really know the story behind it, right? It's the conditioning, and that's part of what we want to always do with these conversations is begin to shape and create our own narrative, right? I told a story one time about how my nephew was hitting me with the rap lines that just sounded cool, like gangsters do what they want, suckers do what they can. He thought that shit was like a moniker to live by, and I said, "You think that's true?" And he was like, "Yeah." I said, really? Anybody who do what they want is a fucking sucker. Because men do what they have to. And that's a different goddamn thing. Because there's a whole lot of shit that I have to do that I don't want to do. That's the very nature of being in this position. Only suckers do what they want.
But even
that ain't gangster shit. That's sucker shit.
Even in how you go about doing what you have to do.
Gangster is a moniker for good.
Even in going about doing what you have to do. The way you go about doing it matters. And doing it in the way that you want to, in the way that your values are aligned, that fucking matters. Yeah, I got shit I have to do. I got fucking bills and mortgages and shit. I don't want to pay that shit. I have to do that shit. But how I go about doing it fucking matters. And I only do it in ways that I want to. And I think there's extreme value there that I would never trade for some monicum of a bag. We got to go. Appreciate y'all so very, very much for tuning in to this Monday edition of I Said What I Said. We greatly appreciate all of your contributions and comments through the conversation. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, watching on Facebook, on the What's in It for the Black People Media page, on the I Said What I Said page. We see all of you all. We appreciate each and every one of you all. We will be back here on Wednesday, same time, same place, 1 p.m. Central Time. Till then, for Reese Ruler, Toussaint Werner, my name is Herb. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.